Like I said, you'll never meet a hater doing better than you. True statement.
That's the kind of line people put on a poster. Goggins doesn't just agree with it, though. He built an entire system around it.
So what started happening is as you get bigger, as you get more successful, you open the door for people to critique every fucking thing you do.
So here's the system. He screenshots the worst comments he gets, and instead of deleting them, he saves them. What he does with them next is where this gets strange.
And most of the people who are critiquing you usually aren't where you are. And all their critiquing comes from people who are really at a low level of life, which is sad. But what we do, people who are on the upper level, hearing the haters at the lower level, like I said, you'll never meet a hater doing better than you. True statement. I started having fun with it. So I'll go through the comments. While most people don't go through comments, I go through them intentionally, look for the bad ones. And while I'll block and delete you because the people on my page don't need that negative energy, I'll block and delete you, but I take a snapshot on my phone and I put it in the archive. So what happens is there's days where I'm like, you know what? I really don't want to do this today. And I'm like, oh, hang on. So I started making these mixtapes with all of these hate messages about people talking shit. And it became such a source of fuel that it was amazing because I know why you hate me. You hate me because you're probably in the bed right now. You're probably an underachiever. You're probably somebody who doesn't want to do anything with your life. So I make you question everything about yourself. So I'm going to continue making you question yourself by coming out here and being even more successful. So I listen to that while I run. I sometimes play it in the house, and it sometimes gets on Jennifer's fucking nerves because I'm sitting and listening to somebody talk mad shit on a loop about me. And she's like, why do you do this shit? It's half comical and it's half inspiring. I'm actually inspired by it.
Now, here's the deeper reason it works on him and not on most people. He says he's actually been that negative commenter before, and that's exactly what lets him study them instead of just reacting.
How that, back in the day, when I was sometimes getting bullied or in a dark place, how sometimes that would have bothered me. How I would want to clap back. I would want to be on there all day explaining myself to people. And how now I'm in a place now where I can hear it and I can actually enjoy it. I can actually know where it's coming from. I've studied it. So I don't just like listen to it and like make fun of it. I actually study it because I was once that negative person. I was once that person who saw someone successful and didn't see how can I get there. I was like, oh, fuck that. They're probably cheating or they're probably doing this. I was that negative person because I wasn't there. And I didn't want to work to get there. So these people who hate on people, I've studied them. And I've gained a lot of knowledge from them because I gained a lot of knowledge from myself when I was in that dark place. So
it's almost like reflecting an older version of you back to yourself.
100%.
I had this idea called the reverse role model. So in a lot of places, people might grow up and not have good role models around them. You know, like it would be great if I had someone that was my hero that could tell me how to be X, good in school, well with work, fantastic in relationships, whatever it might be. And a lot of people don't grow up with that.
Right.
And what I realized was, because that was me in part from where I was from, but I realized there was a lot of people that I got to see that were like the sort of person I didn't want to be like.
Right.
And that was the reverse role model. So I could look around and I could say, well, I really don't want his relationship with his wife. And I hate the way that he is using alcohol to get over the problems in his life. He doesn't have any integrity or tell the truth. She is a liar and a backstabber and a gossip. And the thing is that you can actually achieve a lot of success in life by avoiding failure. Mm-hmm. Like most success in life actually is avoiding failure. Yes, you need to be able to be competent, but first you need to not get out of the race. That's the 1 second decision, right? You need to not lose before you can win.
Right.
And the reverse role model is you weaving your way through a selection of people that you don't want to be like. And I think that you can get an awfully long way just by doing that.
I did that my entire life. I had the ultimate blueprint by watching my family. I was the youngest kid. So the youngest kid has the total advantage. You know, you may get picked on, you may get bullied with everybody, but you sit back and exactly what you said. I sat back and watched my dad. Definitely don't want to do that. My mom, my brother, whoever it may be. I sat back and I paid attention to everything around me. And it was the ultimate blueprint to how to live life.
How not to live life.
How not to live life is I watched people do shit and I said, I don't want to be like that.
So, if you've built the blueprint from the people you don't want to be, the next question is obvious. How do you actually feel about them? Chris pushes on that. And the answer isn't what you'd expect from a guy this blunt.
I like what you said about how the criticism that you see from people is coming from a very unique place. Mm-hmm. I think if you got to see the inner texture of the people who don't like you's existence, you'd feel more pity than anger, for the most part. I think you'd pity them.
Yes.
And that's a realization that's taken a long time for me to come up with, because everybody else feels, or to me, it always seems like everyone else has got it together. Because I get to see only what you choose to say, only what I'm around you doing that I get to see, whereas I get to observe my own inefficiency and foibles 10,000 times a second, right? I get to watch the texture of my own mind be completely unresponsive and useless. I see every single prideful decision, every single lie that I tell myself, every single time I make a promise and don't keep it. But I don't get to see that from everyone. So I'd always presume, because of this asymmetry, that everybody else had it sorted and I didn't. And it also made me think that everybody else's opinion was this perfectly balanced, well-researched, beautifully, they had me nailed down to a T. What they were telling me was the truth. They could see something in me that I couldn't. And after a little bit of time and a good bit of building up of self-confidence, I realized that that's not the case.
No. I have pity on a lot of people. I do.
And here's pity actually being tested in real life, because this wasn't some anonymous comment. This was a former Navy SEAL going after him publicly, lawyers and all.
I used to get angry about it. Like, there was this guy, I talked about it on Rogan, this guy from SEAL Team 6, who went out there when I started becoming more famous. He went out there and just tried to destroy me, tried to literally destroy me. Talked about how, he just totally lied. Had to get a lawyer against him, all kind of shit. And I was getting ready to sue this guy. I was going to sue him because he literally tried to destroy my character, my reputation. Went out there and just lied his ass off. And I thought to myself, it was about 2 months into it. I sat back and I started feeling sorry for this guy. Like, really sorry for him. I was going to pull a trigger, sue him, and I said, I'm not going to sue this guy. I said, for you to be this person who comes on and lies and tries to literally tear down everything I've worked for, you are in a very, very bad place. Come to find out, he was in a very bad mental place. So I get what you're saying. I've learned to study people before I react, because there's no successful person in the world who's in a good headspace that's going to ever attack anyone in that kind of manner. There's always going to be something wrong with them. So you got to always dive a little deeper before you get your feelings hurt. Before you get your feelings hurt by that bully at school or that boss at work, take time. Take that 1 second to pull back and study them. Because most people who are in good places, they don't care about what you're doing. They don't care about what you're doing. They don't try to destroy you. They actually will try to build you up versus destroy who you are as a person. So that's where I'm at now in life, is most people who do that, they're in a very dark, dark place.
So that's the framework for adult haters. But Goggins says the exact same principle traces back to somewhere much earlier and much more personal.
That's why I've become so vulnerable, because all that knowledge you gain, because now you are successful. And there's so many people who are getting bullied in so many ways that, you just show them that there's a path. But the path is really, like I talk about, studying the bully. That's the path. Studying the bully.
This is where it stops being theory. Chris has his own version of this story, and it ends with a message he genuinely did not see coming.
So I do this interview for the BBC, and I mention in 2 paragraphs or something, but millions of people see this article. And I get back one day, and in my Instagram message requests is this message from a guy, and I kind of recognize his name, but not fully. And I don't know whether you know, but there's like a character limit in Instagram.
Yes.
And this is 5 character limit messages long with multiple paragraphs within each of them, right? So I open it up, and this guy says, "Hi, Chris, you might not remember me, but we went to school together. I bullied you. My daughter is 4, and she's about to go to school. And given that she's about to go to school, me and my wife have been discussing about the kind of child that we want her to be. And that caused me to reflect on my time that I spent in school. I've been thinking about messaging you for a while. I've been considering talking to you because I really felt like I needed to, because I felt ashamed of the way that I treated you in school, and I knew that it had hurt you. And then I saw this article from the BBC, and I just had to reach out. And I've been sleepless nights, speaking to the wife, tears and all the rest of it. And I just wanted to say that I'm sorry. I'm very sorry for what I did. I wanted to let you know that my daughter is going to be raised in a way that will never treat anybody like that again. I don't expect you to forgive me. I don't even know if you'll see this message. I'm happy to see that you seem to be happy. But I needed to get it off my chest.
Right.
I'm like, fuck, totally taken aback. Like, wasn't prepared for this. I've come back in from the gym or something, and I'm sat reading this message like, fucking hell, that's heavy. So I go back through and I think, well, how do I feel about this? How do I feel about this person? How do I feel about my experience?
Right.
Because it was so formative, right? It shaped so much of the way that I see myself, the way that I see the world. I had to deprogram so much of the patterns that I'd learned through that time. My desire for validation from other people, my need to be liked, my constant vigilance, my ambient anxiety that was always looking for what was going on, my concern of being left out, my adamant nature that everybody was able to judge something about me that I didn't know about myself. But this guy had like fully opened up to me, and I thought, well, you know, it was beautiful. It was a beautiful message. So I replied to him and I said, hey man, I very much appreciate you reaching out. I think it's an incredibly brave thing to do. And if me going through what I went through, and then the pain and discomfort and such, and your subsequent suffering of reflecting on what you did, if that has led to a world in which your daughter will be the sort of person who will behave in a manner that's going to make the world a better place going forward, I think that's a price that's worth paying.
You'll never meet a hater doing better than you 20 years later. That line found its way back to Chris, not as an insult, but as an apology. That's the whole argument, right there.